I feel as though I'm living in the Twilight Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, it can't get any weirder. Vice President Kamala and her past condemnations, excoriations, and indictments of domestic abuse and sexual assault perpetrators are indeed coming back to roost, coming back to haunt her in spades, many people believe, following a report of her now husband, Doug, the first gentleman, Doug, reportedly forcefully slapping an ex-girlfriend more than a decade ago. Oh, yes. Second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, a 59-year-old lawyer, Hollywood lawyer, struck his then woman, his babe, his gal, struck her, who was a successful New York attorney, in the face, quote, so hard she spun around. Huh? This as the two waited in the valet line following an event at the Cannes Film Festival in May of 2012. This is according to 3 anonymous friends of the woman telling the Daily Mail. Harris, Kamala, and her critics immediately jumped upon the abuse, immediately questioned it, purportedly prompted, caused, precipitated, allegedly, by Doug's jealousy, his rage, and assuming his gal, his beau, was flirting with another man, by recalling years of the vice president claiming she believes women who were survivors of sexual assault. Oh, she believes survivors, she said one time on X. Except Doug Emhoff's wife, another one said, don't believe her, referring to the second gentleman's marriage that ended after he impregnated his child's nanny. The hell's going on here? You know, these exceedingly full-throated, credulous ideas and attitudes and suggestions towards sexual abuse complainants, especially regarding Brett Kavanaugh, reached fever pitch in 2018. Oh my God, Kamala immediately declared Christine Blasey Ford's allegations regarding Justice Kavanaugh, who allegedly forced himself on her at a high school party. Oh, this is nuts. Imagine if Trump did this. Imagine if Trump's state did this. Imagine. Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman, again, I guess he is presumed innocent. These are mere allegations. There's been no court hearing of this. These bombshell allegations that Kamala's husband slapping a former girlfriend in the face so hard she spun around in public view, again outside this A-list gala. And I'm not talking about Dali's wife, the gala in France. And it's been met, as you can imagine, with utter and complete silence. Don't ask Karine Jean-Pierre why. How can the campaign of good character and joy, how in the name of God, can they remain silent? For this candidate who remains constantly, he says that she was a prosecutor, she was the Torquemada fiercely fighting to protect victims. How did they just abandon and refuse to acknowledge any of the claims? Maybe they're hoping, as they have in the past, that if they just ignore their apparatchiks, Their little media proxies will come forward and do the job for them. After all, MSDNC's Jen Psaki, that's what I call her. This is Biden's former press secretary. Just concluded. Isn't it something? How propitious. Just concluded an interview with Doug, Mr. Emhoff, that, of course, as you can imagine, lacked any semblance, connection, or indicium of journalistic relevance and the like. This allegation regarding Kamala's hubby slapping the former girlfriend. Wow. Jen Psaki, in an interview that airs Sunday, said, your role, listen, get this, your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. Really? Interesting. See, Psaki already knew this. She already knew this. As with the Daily Mail revealed in August, that Doug, and everybody knows this, that Doug had allegedly impregnated his nanny, who was also his daughter Ella's school teacher, while married to his first wife. But no questions as to his sense of commitment and integrity? Of course not. How about the way he treats women? How about the way he thinks of women? Oh, no. Doug said to Psaki, I've always been like this. That look, that mealy mouth, mean, that maw, that rictus. I've always been like this. To me, he said, it's the right thing to do. Support women. Oh, right, way to go, Doug. What kind of man brags and pretends to take credit for this kind of stuff? What is this? I mean, this is weird. Had Jen Psaki and the rest of these pathetic sock puppets done anything to even remotely investigate the story, they might have come across the fact that the nanny has a much more disturbing and serious claim than Doug might want to know about him and what happened to the baby. Because Doug reportedly told the women he allegedly hit all about that. You see, Doug allegedly described how he paid the nanny $80K to vanish, made her sign some NDA, and dismissed the claims about how her reported alleged miscarriage came about. This guy, Doug, has been, I don't know what the story is, portrayed, maybe marketed as, I don't know really what. They use the term a wife guy, whatever the hell that is. You know, this friend of women, this protector of women, this crusader of women, this defender, somebody who eschews, who denies the notion of toxic masculinity. Oh, so incredibly proud of his wife, so incredibly just smitten with her success, that he gave up his job, his high-powered wife, just to support her, because he's that kind of guy. Not because, as some people might say, not because, as a lawyer, he represented allegedly a big-time arms dealer selling to Afghanistan, or how he represented Big Pharma, maybe how he represented, and this is okay, I mean, this is what lawyers do, some nightclub big shot accused of sexual harassment and sexual battery. You know, this wife guy stuff. It's just disgusting. And Jen Psaki, again, your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. Wow. Wow. This woman who, this recent accuser, the male refers to her as the pseudonym or the nom de guerre, so to speak, of Jane, purportedly dated him or was in a relationship with him in 2012. She told the story how he came in hot, love-bombed her, and introduced her to his son, Cole, who was then a teenager on their first date, which is fine. And Jane found the event, including this reference to Doug bumming a cigarette or something from Cole, his son. She said, to use the word of jazz hands, weird. She got the impression that Doug's wife had the kind of the upper hand, so to speak, leverage in the divorce. Couldn't really figure out why. Then, she says, 2 months after that first date, this is all in the Daily Mail, 2 months after that first date, during some event, this big time, big Toucan, charity gala, May 24th, Doug, the wife guy, whatever it's called, allegedly slapped the hell out of her. And one of this woman, Jane's friends, who claims to be a kind of a big shot New York business type, says he got a phone call from her moments later. Quote, it was hard to hear her because she was sobbing. This is what he told the Mail, Daily Mail. She told me she was with a guy who hit her. Jane said that she had offered the valet money to skip the line outside the gala and had put her hand allegedly on his shoulder. And when Doug saw this, he went ballistic, went postal, went nuts, said she was flirting. And so, as this Mr. Wife, this lover and protective woman, basically slapped the hell out of her. And she was sobbing. And what's interesting to note about this is very interesting because if you recall, one of the pieces of evidence regarding that E. Jean Carroll case of LB President Trump was that she had, after the alleged event, called a friend of hers at the moment it happened and confided her and told her, this is what happened. And because of the timeliness, and there's a lot of, it's not so much an exception to the hearsay rule, but this excited utterance, this moment in propinquity in time to the event, it lends credibility to the fact that this happened because at the time she said it happened, somebody got a call from her and he told her exactly what happened and she's crying. So you know what's going to happen from this? Nothing. But if this were Donald Trump, oh, God almighty, they went crazy. These people went crazy with the fact that Don Jr. might have been seeing a woman in Palm Beach who wasn't his fiancée, Kimberly Guilfoyle. Oh, my God. Oh, what about this? The nanny, the miscarriage. The hypocrisy, ladies and gentlemen, of these people never ceases to amaze me. What do you think? What do you think? I want to hear from you. Put your thoughts below. Put your thoughts. What do you think? But only first after you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation. Make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, make sure you like this video. And again, I ask you, what do you think? Put your words down. Can you believe this guy? What if it was Trump? What if it was Trump? Comment as you see fit.